What's up, YouTube? Thanks for joining us for another review. Today we got the Dragon Ball versus Omnibus Super Ichban Kuji that came out last week. Specifically, this one is the Super Saiyan BROLY. It's going to be the one with the armor. I've sold a couple of these within the past week, maybe 2 or 3. I think it's 3. And it's going pretty fast. I believe the reason why is because Masterlise, I don't believe, has made another Super Saiyan armored BROLY like this, especially in this scale. And when I talk about scale, I'm going to show you in a little bit. But first, we got to unbox this thing, man. So let's go. Okay, so there he is out of his box. Let's take a little closer look. Get into the details a bit. He's a good sized BROLY. I'm gonna get that other History of Rivals and put it up here pretty soon, but let's take a look at this one real quick. His hair looks pretty good. It's kind of flat yellow. Flat Super Saiyan yellow. The sculpt is nice. His face sculpt is pretty well done. And it's gonna be the one with the no pupils, his eyes. I kind of like that pose too. The pose is pretty good. I'm definitely happy that there's no stand, especially like a stand that's sticking straight up his butt like one of the other Masterlise ones. Didn't like that at all. So I guess the other Super Saiyan one from Masterlise would be the one where he's kind of, I don't have it because I don't like it, but he's up in the air, legs are off the ground, he's got a black stand, and the bottom of the stand like goes straight up, straight up his butt, and he's kind of hovering there, and I don't like that. But anyways, this one does have a foot stand. It's a clear one, so that's good. I like the clear stands. His pants, the purple and the dark shading is actually pretty nice. Make sure this lens is clear. The cloth here around his waist also has some green to light green shading, which is good as well. And then we move up to the back where his armor is. It's solid black with green. I actually like BROLY's armor a lot. His scar is indented, so that's good. Got a little bit of paint transfer here. That's not too bad. Let's turn it around. So I did see kind of a little bit of a negative thing here on the paint. Get a little bit closer. Right here on the center of his armor, it looks like there's a little black paint transfer right there. I think I'd be able to scrape most of that off, so it's not a huge deal, but you know, I think they could have paid a little closer detail to that, as well as the bottom of it, that side. And then when you look down, also on the bottom of his armor, there's some black paint transfer right there on the white too. So hopefully it's not every single one of them. Maybe it's just mine. I can go ahead and clean that up. That's not a big deal, but it's definitely not something that we should have to do. So just figured I'd point that out. So with his skin, he's got some accents on his arms, on his skin tone. And the crevices here is a little darker, so that's good. The muscle tone's great. Typically is on BROLY figures. If you look down here on the back of his right leg, let me make sure you can see that. There we go, that's better. There is the watermark, and it is lifted. bottom of his feet are kind of just flat gray. And one thing that's really important to a lot of collectors is this. Let me pull his stand off, and he stands perfectly fine without the stand. Yep, perfectly fine. So that's good. Definitely a plus. All right, we'll put the stand to the side and grab the History of Rivals BROLY. All right, so we got the History of Rivals BROLY standing right next to him. And if I go kind of eye level with them, they're basically the same size. You look at the top of the armor here and here. They're just about the same size. It's great because they have a slightly different pose. Hair is a different color, obviously. And this one, his rage, he's got pupils. And this one doesn't. Let's see. Another difference is he's got his control necklace right here. Let me look at that paint. His paint job's not that bad. Maybe a little bit of transfer, but it's not bad. But as you can see, so it's a little bit of a shade difference, especially on his cloth. And also in the pants, he has accents on that one, but this one looks a little more detailed. His boots are slightly darker gray. And these ones are more like white. All right. Scars are good and in the same place. It looks like they could have possibly used the same mold and then just made adjustments, you know, on the arms and the head. We could look around to the back. Here, spin them both around. All right, for the back, it's the same thing. The green is different on both sides, on the armor and his cloth skirting there. His boots, kind of grayish compared to white. This new one has a lot more detail than the History of Rivals, which I think this History of Rivals doesn't really have much detail other than, you know, the grainy feature. But when it comes to the color, it's pretty solid. Like solid as in, you know, one true color, not solid as in great. And the hair's good on both, so no complaints there. Not a bad paint job on the back on either one of them, but this BROLY here from the History of Rivals, his skin is slightly darker than the Super Saiyan skin. All right, and the stamp is in the same spot on both figures. So, yep, it looks like they use the same mold, just slight adjustments. Okay, so now we can take some measurements. The History of Rivals is gonna be right up 11.5 to the top of the hair. And the new Omnibus Super is gonna be right above 12. So about half an inch taller. Difference is he's kind of leaning back on this one, whereas this one he's standing straight up in the air, so his hair is kind of pointed up in the air. Good scale though. They look nice next to each other. Okay friends, so I will say this. As I've said before, and I believe I said it in another review, the History of Rivals BROLY is probably my favorite one out of all of them. It's definitely my favorite armored Broly, but I think this pose, and along with the armor and the scale, this is my favorite Broly. And this one is not too far off, and it's the Super Saiyan version, so I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And I know I gave this Broly a 10. I'm gonna give this Super Saiyan Broly, I have to dock it for the paint, for my paint job. So for mine specifically, I gotta give it a 9.5. But if it didn't have the blemishes on the armor with the paint transfer and all that stuff, then I probably would have gave it a 10. So you guys do what you will with that information. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything I missed on the review, please let me know. So as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed and you like the video, please subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And I appreciate you guys as always. Thanks for hanging around and watching this review and unboxing with me. I'll see you guys next time.